this is Dan Ferrisi, Group Director of Content and Editorial, Industrial and Tech at Emerald. So happy to be joined today by David Missall, who is Senior Advisor, Technical Application Engineering and Education with Sennheiser. Topic of conversation is, of course, InfoComm 2026 last month, a hugely successful show and a particularly successful show for Sennheiser. The booth was absolutely packed, great demos going on. We want to recap all the highlights of Sennheiser's InfoComm experience. Thank you so much, David, for joining me today.
Thanks, Dan. Thanks for having me.
So give me a sense of what it was like to be there on the show floor, having your demos going on. Was the excitement palpable? Were you just having a steady stream of whether it's integrators, consultants, dealers, people just really psyched about what Sennheiser has going on?
Yeah, we had a steady stream of people throughout the week, which is fantastic to see. A lot of excitement about what we were showing, what we were demoing, the new partnerships that we have, and how we've really integrated our products into a lot of different ecosystems and made it easier to integrate our systems across the board. So a really good response.
Speaking of a lot of different ecosystems, of course, in the past, I used to go to the NAMM show, and I'm very familiar with the pro audio side of everything Sennheiser does, the amazing legacy and heritage that you have there, but also business communication. That really seemed to take the forefront this year at InfoComm, the really strong business communication solution Sennheiser has. Do you want to tell me a little bit about some of what you were showcasing at the booth on the business comm side?
Yeah, sure. One of the highlights really was the release of the TCC M Plus. So if you're familiar with our ceiling microphones, we've had the TCC2 for years, TCC M, the smaller brother of it, and we just introduced the TCC M Plus. And it has a few great features to it from its TCC M. And one of them is PartnerLink. So we're talking about partners. What we've done is we've developed closely with Q-SYS so that the TCC M Plus actually can be brought into the designer of Q-SYS as a device, as if it is a Q-SYS device. So you don't need a separate API to bring it into their platform. So it makes it a lot easier to bring it in and configure your Dante with the TCC M Plus.
Very cool.
The PartnerLink is a project that will then develop with other partners as well, because we want to make it a lot easier to bring in our ceiling microphones into these ecosystems, regardless of who you're using for a DSP.
So tell me a little bit about the demo aspect of it, because I know people, when they go to InfoComm these days, the spec sheet doesn't cut it anymore. They want to hear it themselves. They want to experience it themselves.
Yeah.
They want to have something that's immersive. What were you doing to envelop those attendees in Sennheiser solutions and what you're able to create?
This is why we like trade shows, right? I know that some people are like, oh, trade shows, but this is why we love it, because we can do a proof of concept of what we bring to the table for our products. So we had a really special demo room that we built that was isolated from all the noise, because we are an audio company. We want to make sure that you can hear our demos properly. And we had a great room where we were talking about all of our different solutions, regardless of the type of room that you're looking at. So whether it's a small huddle room, to a medium-sized room, to even a more complicated room where you maybe have 100 people in a classroom and you want to have cameras and maybe even do a voice lift application. So we covered all these different scenarios using our TC bars and demonstrating them and showing the picture image and the audio quality. We moved up into our ceiling microphones, and we actually did a voice lift demo in that room, showing people how the ceiling microphone can be used in a voice lift situation, which can be very, very difficult, especially in a place like a trade show floor with all the noise and everything going on. So we're able to show that proof of concept, and including doing camera tracking, triggering cameras from the data from our microphone so that you could see that working within this space as well. We happen to be using Q-SYS, but it works with a lot of different platforms as well. So for us, having that opportunity to show the proof of concept where you have an issue, our solutions can solve those problems. And here, this is how we do it, and listen to it and watch it, and they actually experience it so they understand the concept. Very beneficial for the customer, and they can see what we bring to the table.
Very, very beneficial. And I think it really does showcase what you can bring to the table when you're doing all of this in the middle of a trade show floor. As you say, it's got to be the most adverse circumstance you can imagine. So imagine a much more favorable circumstance. You're going to get an even better result, I assume. But it sounds
Yeah,
like people
yeah.
were very impressed with what you were able to do amid 30,000 people on the show floor.
Yeah, there's definitely those aha moments, right, about it. And what's nice is then we have these proof of concepts, and then we tie it all together with our own ecosystem, like how Device Hub, our cloud platform, which is now with TC Bar S and TCCM, works with those bars, is now also compatible with a TCC M Plus, right? So we also tie that together. See, we have our own ecosystem. We have Device Hub. We're creating more devices are going to work with Device Hub, and how you can control these things, remotely and scale it across the globe. And we can show all of this in our one demo room to show how this all works together to create these great solutions. I love that being able to do that and prove it for the customer.
So following so successful an InfoComm show, having lots of dealers and integrators and consultants walking through the Sennheiser booth, checking out your demos, if people want to learn more, if they feel like they've gotten a taste, but they want to learn even more, what's the best place for them to go? What should they do? Whom should they reach out to so they can bring their relationship with Sennheiser to the next level?
Yeah, you can certainly jump onto our website at Sennheiser.com. You'll see all the information you need for about products, different events that we have coming up. Of course, we have a LinkedIn page as well that talks about different events and different promotions and things that are happening. We have many dealers across the globe and, of course, the US. Any of them can help you, and also they can help you get in contact with our local rep as well if you need help there. We also have our own home office, which is actually, we're moving to Nashville. We're so excited, a new facility in Nashville. Can't wait. We're moving this year, but we'll have lots of support there, and we have support from our main office right now as well. We can reach out.
Nashville is one of my absolute favorite cities. I haven't been there in a few years, but this gives me the perfect excuse to go back as I love that city. Thank you so much, David. Great to connect with you. Congratulations to the entire Sennheiser team on what was clearly a very successful InfoComm and really hammering home the value you bring to the business comms market.
Thanks so much, Dan. Appreciate it.
Pleasure to have been joined by David Missall, who is Senior Advisor, Technical Application Engineering and Education with Sennheiser. My name is Dan Ferrisi, Group Director of Content and Editorial, Industrial and Tech at Emerald. Please keep your eyes on commercialintegrator.com in the days and weeks ahead as we continue all of our InfoComm 2026 wrap-ups and paint a picture of what we're going to look at in Q3 and Q4.